mean, in life, if you don't have trust, what else do you have, So to me, it's really, really care, right? Is a big defining factor as well. So.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Our next guest is we're talking to Scott Heric from Unionly. Unionly is a union-focused company created specifically to support organized labor through payment management. They run dues payments, online stores, events, fundraisers, all sorts of stuff for unions all over the country, and they handle our store and our recurring donations as well. And they're also union represented. Their employees are union represented. Scott is the co-founder and CEO, and he is our next guest here to talk about Unionly. Scott, welcome to the program.
Hey, Jacob. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. So, I just gave the lowdown about what y'all do. Why is that a service that you reckon and the other folks that you started this company believe is something that is important to offer unions and other membership-based organizations?
Yeah, so about 6 years ago, I started the concept, and I was working at my prior company, and I was approached by the owner and founder of Unions America, Union Active, and the first thing that kind of put us onto it was the amount of fraud that happens in fundraising with GoFundMe in the union space, where just how many people are, hawking the news for line of duty deaths or just members that have been injured to basically create fundraisers that are fraudulent, which I thought was insane. So we wanted to do something about that. And then as we got into it, realized there's really nothing built for organized labor. Sure, there's PayPal, there's Venmo, there's different mechanisms that are wildly overcomplicated for businesses, but not actually for organized labor. And so as I kind of got to learn about the whole industry more about 6 years ago, worked on the concept for about 4 years, pitched it to my prior company. They didn't really like that because it wasn't their idea. Then March of 2020, obviously the world ended, and we got to work April 20th of 2020. So overall, it's basically just a simple way to give organized labor and unions control of all of their financial records and revenue, and just really control of money.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think an under talked about something that maybe doesn't get enough attention is dues checkoff, and whether or not that's really kind of the best way to get money from members. Funding unions and organizations through membership donations, through dues payments and things like that. I think that is obviously the best way to fund an organization, because you're not going to be dependent on donors. You're not going to be dependent on outside groups that are going to tell you what to do, or they'll be able to revoke your funding. It's going to be coming from you. So I think dues payments are very good, but I think that dues checkoff, that really does put a lot of that puts some amount of power in the hands of the employer for the funding of your operation, as opposed to, something like Unionly, where you're getting it directly from the member, and it's easy for the member to do because there's an automatic payment option kind of thing.
Yeah, and we've, while it's been unfortunate to hear the scenarios a lot of our clients have been in, where, the employer has cut off payroll deduction as the main union busting tactic, and they come to us and they're in a panic, understandably so. But fortunately, we've been able to help them get set up with an entire replacement system in about 24 hours, right? Which has allowed them to stay together. And then as part of those conversations I've had with our clients, they said, oh, hey, we're working on the new contract. And as part of that, they go back to payroll deduction. And I'm like, well, why would you do that? And I think the prevailing logic has just been, that's what you do, right? Because it's easier. I actually think from the company's side as well, it's actually costing them a ton. And I think if they were to openly be willing to create a new system, as opposed to just saying, hey, we should stop doing this to break the union, which, is BS. They should say, hey, there should be a system that gives out that actually control and actually saves the company money, which can go back to the people and help them out too. So really on both sides, it seems like a process that needs to stop, but no one has said, hey, this is really stupid and inefficient, right? I think that's a big change, at least in my opinion. If something's wrong or if something's bad, I'm not going to sit around and say, all right, yep, that's just the way it's done, which is not how I operate. And especially with the control it gives, to me, it's like, hey, if that's the biggest weapon they're going to use against you, why would you hand it back to them?
Right. Yeah, I think for me, that is definitely the most persuasive argument. Whether or not it's the cheapest or most efficient. I believe you that it is, but I think that even if it wasn't, the argument that we are going to be placing the funding of our unions in the boss's hands just because that's what we've always done. I think that's something that folks should definitely kind of think about. And there are lots of other payment processing sites that do this, and some other unions have, and some unions have gone to various organizations, various payment processing sites to handle online dues payments, virtual dues payments. What is the advantage of Unionly to these other sites?
We are specifically built for organized labor and focused on this one group, right? And we put the entire process and network together into one platform. Normally you need about 10 or 15 pieces to set everything up. So one, it takes about 10 minutes to set up. Two, we have a way to do it that's completely free. And three, it can be customized and is built specifically for organized labor.
Yep. And I will vouch for that as far as the responsiveness and the quickness of setting stuff up. Anytime that I send y'all a tasker for, hey, can you add this to my store, or can you add this section to the store, or can you, when you set up the store, I was really amazed at how quick the turnaround on all of this stuff was, and how responsive y'all are to information requests and things like that. Y'all are definitely a really easy company to work with.
Thank you.
And I think that there's a certain mission orientedness to your company.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing. 4 on that list is we care. I care, and that's easy to say, right? Talk is cheap though. So I welcome the opportunity to back it up. And I think that's really, how we've kind of been able to establish a base of success is earning trust, right? In life, if you don't have trust, what else do you have, So to me, it's really care, right? Is a big defining factor as well. So, yeah. And
y'all have partnered with some other union digital companies, so our website was built, tvlr.fm, by unionsamerica.com. They are represented by the Teamsters, and it's a union web designing company. And y'all partner with them so that you can fully integrate your store and your dues payments into your website that is also union built.
Yes, sir. It's a great point. We're part of the Unions America and Union Active family. Within the website, there's a Union Active website and management system, and then we as Unionly are the payments element of it. So you're right. It does all tie hand in hand. There's a mobile app for communications, the website. Really, with the way that technology is currently and is going, things are already accelerating at such a rapid rate. They're going to accelerate at a rate that is more rapid than anyone has ever seen by a long shot. So the days of saying, "Oh, one day we'll have to change. One day we'll have to change," that was like 2 years ago. Things. There's the prevailing logic of, "Oh, well, maybe one day," is no longer valid, right? So in order to kind of stay with the times and stay current, and it also makes things so easy to bring together, right? As opposed in the past where it used to be extremely expensive, time consuming. It's a lot easier now, and it makes life better for everybody. So,
right.
Yeah, I was just going to add here that I think it's an essential.
It's been great to work with the different organizations we've had the privilege of working with, and really, it's once I kind of met Timothy, who's the owner of Unions Active and Unions America, and I heard about this opportunity to basically help, the working class of America and the working folks of America. I said, yeah, absolutely, that sounds great to me. And actually, it's kind of funny, for pitching that idea to my last company, which they didn't like it to the tune of so much that I was actually part of a group that got laid off. So it's actually kind of fitting.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, hats off to them. Good job.
Well, I just got to say, I really appreciate what you're doing. I think it is meeting a need. I worked for a labor organization that went through transitions with payroll deduction.
I can't hear his feed. Oh, yeah, Jacob, I can't hear his feed, actually.
Oh, Adam, I heard you, but then I lost you. But
that's okay. That's okay. Move on.
Yeah.
Having some errors on my end.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, he was just saying that that's meeting a need, and the last thing that we'll say on this is that in addition to y'all are definitely super focused on organized labor, but you do have you are willing to work with other like labor friendly organizations like us. We're not a union per se. All of us are union members, and we're like cooperatively run and things like this. But you're willing to work with other kind of labor-friendly organizations if they have this need too, right?
That's a fact. Good people only.
Good people only.
You're doing a great job, and you're serving a great cause, and absolutely. So we welcome the opportunity to work with good people and help support missions that support people. So it's
awesome,
people helping people.
How many folks are y'all? How many different unions are y'all working with right now?
Getting close to 400, actually.
Wow.
So varying sizes ranging from, I think, 45 members to over 60,000. So it's really built for anybody. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, Scott, I really appreciate your time. You can learn more at unionly.io. That is unionly.io. And you can learn more there, and they can get you set up by the beginning of next week. So, Scott, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it. You have a good one. Thanks, everybody.
You too. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.